Welcome everyone to the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right, Lo-Fi's in low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today? It's Tuesday, Lo-Fi Nation, and you know what that means. It's time for Tuesday's Top 10 list. Every Tuesday, we look at global indicators and surveys to see what countries hold the top 10 rankings in particular categories. We'll cover things like GDP, GDP per capita, HDI, Gini, largest populations, largest countries by size, happiest countries, and more. And if you're unsure what some of those things mean, no worries, Lo-Fi Nation. We'll cover each of them before we jump into the list. Today's list, not quite a top 10 list, but rather a ranking of continents by geographic size, by population, by number of countries, and finally by number of languages. Now let's jump right in to continents by size. Coming in at number 7 is Australia. Number 6, Europe. Number 5, Antarctica. Number 4, South America. Number 3, North America. Number 2, Africa. And the largest continent on Earth is Asia. Now let's go by populations. Continents by population size. At number 7 is Antarctica with 20 million penguins. I joke. Well, actually, it's not a joke. They really do have about 20 million penguins. But it's about 1,100 people that live there. You know, sciencey folk doing sciencey things. Number 6, Australia with 25 million. Number 5, South America with 423 million. North America is number 4 with 580 million. Number 3 is Europe with 740 million people. Number 2, Africa with 1.2 billion people. And at number 1, the most populous continent on Earth is Asia with 4.58 billion people, over half the Earth's population. Now, by number of countries as of 2019, and on this list there was 195 countries. So, coming in at number 7 is Antarctica with 0 countries. Number 6, South America with 12 countries. Number 5, Australia Oceania with 14 countries. Number 4, North America with 23 countries. Number 3, Europe with 44 countries. Asia with 48 countries at number 2. And at number 1 with the most countries in the world is Africa with 54 countries. Now let's go by language. So this list, we're looking at Europe, and at number 5 with 230 languages spoken. The Americas are lumped together, and everywhere I looked, so the Americas together have 1,000 languages spoken. Number 3, Australia Oceania with over 1,200 languages spoken. Africa has over 2,100 spoken languages. And Asia comes in at number 1 with over 2,300 languages. Collectively, there are somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 languages in the world, and about half of them are spoken in Asia and Africa. Now, what's the importance of really looking at this list? Well, for one, they're simply interesting and a good way to learn more about the world in which we live. But furthermore, it can give us a glimpse into explaining current trends and potential future trends in the world economy, which has major implications for political science. Just focusing on the number 1 and number 2 for biggest, most people, most countries, and most languages, Asia and Africa. Asian markets have grown immensely in the past 2 to 3 decades, and given their size/capabilities to expand and the population to continually grow and produce, this trend is likely to keep up but increase even faster. Africa in many ways is considered the next big boom, with a lot of potential once it gets going. If you put these two continents working together economically, they make up well over half the population of the Earth, as well as half the countries in the world. Now, also, do they make up over half the languages in the world? Yes, they do. And languages are barriers. However, as education has increased across the globe, the language barrier has decreased in importance. The point is, all this information added together with one single country's economic or political policy means a whole lot. And that's China's One Belt, One Road initiative. China is making deals with countries all over Asia and Africa, and funding infrastructure programs to increase trade and economic output in the world's largest continents, the continents with the most countries, and the continents with the most people. In short, China is helping build an economic powerhouse between Africa and Asia that will most likely one day well surpass that of the US and Europe. When that takes place, those countries involved are going to have a lot more to say about how the world works. It's an interesting time to be alive, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out over time. And that's this Tuesday's Top 10 list. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Please write in with your questions, comments, or requests for countries for our new segments, or a top 10 global list you want to see, to lofipolisci at planetmail.com. That's lofi, L-O-F-I, poly, P-O-L-I, sci, SCI, at planetmail.com. Let me say thank you so much for listening. Stay safe, wash those hands, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. Pickering, signing off.